All right, balloons, making balloons, FCJH day 4. Day 4 kind of depends on where you're at so far. My guess is some groups may not have been finished with the seams, so they'll want to do that, make sure they get all their seams finished. So that will be their first thing that they do. And then if they still haven't had their top and bottom connected, they're going to do that. Once they've done all that, then they're going to start checking over every seam and check for gaps in the seam. So they'll want to go through all the seams and make sure that any place that isn't totally put together, that it's glued. So that's going to require a lot of work. They're going to be going through the balloon. They're going to put their hands inside the balloon, and they're going to check over the seams and run it along this, like this. They're going to do like this, up and down every seam. If they come to a seam that has a little gap in it, has a little hole in it, another student should be at the ready with their glue bottle, and they're going to dab a little bit of glue, and they're going to close up as many of those gaps as they can, because of course the more gaps we have in our seams, the more air can escape and the less likely it is to fly. Once they have done that, once they have checked all of their seams, then they should go up to you as the teacher, and then you are going to do a quick check of their seams as well. You're gonna check for the seams, make sure that they haven't missed any. Tiny little gaps is probably not a giant big deal, but if they have some serious gaps, you're gonna want to close that up. And then last but not least, we're gonna patch up any holes that they may have inadvertently gotten in their balloons. And that's where the scraps come in. So hopefully from the second day, when they cut out their panels, they have these, I call them triangular pieces that came off the sides. And they're gonna take that tissue, and they're gonna cut tissue just the right size for any hole they have. So if they have a small hole, what they'll do is they'll cut out the tissue, that makes sure that the patch is just like a little bit bigger than whatever the hole is that they're trying to close up. They take the glue, they take glue around the hole, and then they'll just dab the patch over that hole. They don't have to get fancy with it, but I often tell them that, hey, if you want it to look a little less like a boo-boo and a little more like decoration, that they could maybe cut that patch in the shape of a heart or a triangle, and then that's how we repair any holes or tears that might have happened while they were making their balloon. Once they have made sure their seams are closed, any holes are patched, then use the teacher, check it all over one more time, and then it'll be time for them to glue the wire ring in. This kind of is day 4 and 5 pretty much, because the last day you're kind of doing a lot of the same kinds of things. You're gonna make sure all the seams are good and that the wire's in. So with the wire, what you're gonna do is once their balloon is ready to go, you're gonna show them how to do the wire. Now the wire goes in the balloon like this. So what I usually show them to do is I take the wire, which looks like this. The wire should be cut in about 40-inch sections, and then you're going to want to wrap it so that you've got a piece of wire about like that. And then you take that wire and you stick it in the large part of the balloon, okay? The side that's the large part. And you put the wire in, and then you encase it. And I usually have them go from the bottom. You put the wire in, you pull the tissue over the top of the wire, you put a little bead of glue like right there, and then you press the wire in, you let it set up for a second, and then you rotate it a little. And then you put a little bead of glue right in there, and then you rotate it until you get the wire in the balloon as you see here. It's encapsulated in tissue. This part of the balloon is the part that goes down over the chimney the day of the launch. This is the part the kids are going to hang on to it. So you don't want this to be too small. You don't want that ring. I've accidentally made a wire a little too small, and then day of launch, it's really hard for the kids because it's very hot. The chimneys are hot, and the closer they have to hang on to the balloon, the more chance they have of burning their balloon or scorching the tissue. So try to make sure that the wire you make is, about like what you're seeing here. And so that's how you put the wire in the balloon. And that pretty much wraps up day 4 and part of day 5.